What we're going to start with at the top of the discussion here is the topic of the enhanced games. Quite a bit has been said about the enhanced games in recent days. Now, the enhanced games is a proposed multi-sport event. It's founded by Australian businessman Aaron D'Souza, and he's based in London. The headquarters for the enhanced games is based in the Cayman Islands. That's very interesting. Now, it would allow athletes to use performance-enhancing substances without being subject to drug testing. And according to D'Souza, he created the games because he believes the athletes are entitled to do what they wish with their own bodies. And he says the International Olympic Committee is corrupt for not paying the athletes. So the first event in this multi-sport event is set for May of next year in Nevada in the United States. And I tell you a little more about the enhanced games, you know. Fred Curley, the Olympic and World Championship medalist, a world champion over 100 meters back in Eugene in 2022. He's the highest profile name to sign up so far for the enhanced games. And they are looking to target British athletes, this report is saying, after signing Curley. And British athletes across multiple sports are being targeted by the enhanced games after US sprint star Fred Curley became the biggest name yet to sign up for this controversial event. Now, the enhanced games, as I said earlier, will allow athletes to take performance-enhancing drugs that are banned by WADA. Curley's decision led him to being dropped by his agents, Pace Sports Management, which also represents Usain Bolt and Mo Farah. Ricky Sims, the CEO of Pace Sports Management, said, "We did not negotiate this deal and no longer represent Fred Curley." And of course, you would know that Curley has been provisionally banned by the AIU for whereabouts failure. And the World Athletics boss, Seb Coe, has said athletes who go to compete at these games will face lengthy bans. The AIU has also said because Curley is suspended, he has no rights at all in relation to athletics. And they are saying based on that, he should or could face a further ban. This is getting quite interesting. Brett Clothier, the head of AIU, said their biggest concern is probably the health of Fred Curley and other athletes who sign up for the enhanced games. So quite a bit is happening here, you know. Warren, let me start with you. What do you make of all this? Where exactly are we heading with this now?
We're first and foremost, I would say the games are being held in Las Vegas. So we definitely know that things and time in sports are changing, and it's all about money and entertainment. So I think people out there want to see the sports for the better, and then you have an other side of the spectrum who just want to see it for the money. And I think it's going to be a stage where athletes are going to think between for the money or for the morals. So we can't tell Ali what to do, because at the end of the day, it's a business and they're the only one that can control what they want to do.
But what about the threat to the health of the athletes and the athletes who are competing now under WADA and World Athletics events, governed by AIU as well? Seb Coe has said, the World Athletics boss, athletes who go to compete at these games will face lengthy bans. What about the threat it's posing to sports overall and the track and field in particular?
Well, I've always been an activist about athletes earning. And I think, for example, what we have seen this season where athletes, they saw something, they tried it, which is in terms of Grand Slam, they tried it, that didn't get paid, or they're in a legal battle now. They're saying, okay, if we're going about the right route of trying to do something where we can't get paid, might as well just try another route. So as I said, athletes are going to make a decision, and it's going to be about the money. There's not a lot of money, as we know, in track and field. It's a small percentage at the top who are getting paid, and I think athletes are going to make a decision whether the fans like it or not, and they're going to make a decision based on how fat their pockets can get.
Mm. So you think quite a few athletes may take that calculated gamble, huh?
I think so, and I think it's going to be mainly the athletes who are in like the later part of their career who haven't probably gained a lot financially from it and still have a little shelf life leave. They're the ones who I think are going to go that way. And for the Fred Curley stage, I think Fred Curley took the risk because I think he has already feel alienated from the sport. So I just think him going that way is a way of saying, you know what, I'm going to just go where the money is.
All right, I'm looking at, I have quite a few reports on the enhanced games, you know, and this one says the enhanced games is a startup organization trying to flip athletics on its head by allowing athletes to take substances banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, and that is if they choose to do so. So athletes can compete clean if they want at the enhanced games. Now, illegal drugs aren't allowed, example, cocaine, but drugs including testosterone and EPO, which have medical uses and are legal but banned by WADA, are permitted. Daniel, this gets interesting by the minute.
Yeah, I think the optics are bad. It damages the integrity, it affects the integrity of the sport, it damages the reputation of the athletes who choose to participate in it. And I'm not sure if the financial compensation is enough to balance that out. And in terms of Fred Curley, I think he's, you know, to use a term that the TikTokers use, he's crashing out completely because he's had a rough year. He's been a season, he's been arrested twice, he's been in, you know, he's been suspended for whereabouts failure, and it looks like he just got up and said, how can I make this worse?
And he says he wants to break the world record. Now I see Dawn Harper, the outstanding former American sprint hurdler, calling out Fred Curley, and she was trying to wrap her mind around it to say, Fred, are you in the right frame of mind at the moment?
Yeah, I understand the argument for financial, you know, the financial angle. I just don't see it as worth it. And in terms of, there's no transparency. Yes, they say that you don't have to take the drugs, but the entire premise of what they are founded on, the testing that they're doing on the athletes, the different forms of testosterone that they're making available, it just seems a little fishy. And I saw that Sebastian Coe didn't even want to comment on it, the head of World Athletics. So I don't think it's a global threat to the sport because little kids don't get up and dream to take drugs. Yeah. They dream of the Olympics, the clean sport, the fair participation. Nobody gets up and dreams to go to the doped-up Olympics, you know?
But what if persons enter these games? And by the way, there will be multi-sport, the enhanced games, and swimmers are involved. British swimmers are being targeted. British athletes overall, and the Olympic swimmer Ben Proud from Britain, he became the first athlete from Britain to sign up with the enhanced games. What about youngsters? They may see athletes join up with these games and making a lot of big bucks and start to think, I wonder if this is the way to go.
All right, yes. With that case now, they're going to be influenced because they're kids. So I remember there's a video with Usain Bolt. He was saying that the kids, or at least these days, are losing the plot because they're not aiming for the highest. He's saying that they're saying that they don't want to be Usain Bolt, but he's saying he's the pinnacle of the sport. I set the bar, so you definitely should aim to be Usain Bolt. Not the name Usain Bolt, but the legacy. So the kids are definitely going to be influenced by this because they're saying, all right, I'm hearing a lot where the sport's not making any money, and I've spoken to my friends where they're saying if you're not in the top 2%, you're not making any money in track and field. And I agree with that. So the kids are going to be influenced by this, and they're going to say, all right, I'm not going to be making any money. What can I do to make money outside of track and field or when I finish the sport? And I think it's not going to be something good for the sport, and it's going to actually affect the sport. That's what I say.
This is not a proven thing, though. So compare the Diamond League to the Grand Slam. One of the arguments was that the Diamond League has been there for years and it's reliable. And now we're seeing after the end of the Grand Slam, a lot of those athletes never got paid. Yeah. So this
probably won't get paid.
This is a trial. This is a big experiment. It's not proven. So to use its financial promises as a reason to say this is a good move for athletes, they might end up in the same situation as the athletes in the Grand Slam track.
Warren, the founder of the Enhanced Games, Mr. Aaron De Souza, he's an Australian businessman based in London. But what I find interesting is that the headquarters for this multi-sport games is based in the Cayman Islands. I'm just a little curious here. What do you think this will do for the image of the Caribbean?
I don't think that will affect the image of the Caribbean with all what shows that when people want to, you know, do a lot of things with their money, you know where they go. So I think money is there from the fact that you call Cayman, there's a few places I call in the Caribbean where, big money is involved. And I don't know if you'll bring up, I see that they bring up a lawsuit there, a lawsuit against the WADA, which is a lot of money. So I think money is there, and at the end of the day, I think these businessmen see track and field, the other aspect of track and field like a business venture that they could try and make some money off of and be entertaining. I think that's all they look at, the entertainment and the money.
Do you see other big names joining in the short term? Have you heard from any athlete that they're thinking about this, wrapping their minds around it, Warren?
Well, I recently started to go in a rabbit hole about the enhanced game, but I really don't see a lot of athletes going there. And if athletes do go there, I don't think it will be high-profile athletes because no athlete wants that stigma behind their name. And even so with the case, whether they're clean or not, there will always be bad stigma towards it. If you get caught for cough medicine, people are going to call you a drug cheat. So I think nobody wants that. And as I said to my friends, I'm looking towards the next couple of weeks to see who actually will come. But what I do notice, though, a lot of swimmers are already over there.
Yes, and they're targeting British athletes. So, Warren, let me ask you, if you were still competing and probably in the twilight of your career, would you have signed up for this?
And you were going to...
No.
No, first I must say this. Like as a child of the soil,
yes,
as a child who's close to the community, I always hear, be careful of how you carry yourself because you don't know who know you. I could never allow myself to be in public with certain taunting things to my name. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sleep. My parents would disown me. For sure.
Oh dear.
I couldn't go into my community. There's many things that I couldn't be a part of. So no, I would.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Warren there. As an athlete myself, I can understand it from an athlete's point of view because they're saying, all right, I want some financial freedom and whatever. But what is behind that? What are you doing to get the financial freedom? That is the part that bugs me. So I completely agree with Warren. I remember there was a time on Twitter where he was making a statement and he was saying that he's all for athletes getting more money in the sport. But what are you going to do to get more money in the sport? But it's a case where World Athletics are not paying the athletes properly or it's taking too long for them to receive their payments. Because I even had a conversation with one of our own Jamaican 400 athlete, Akeem Bloomfield, and I asked him what it's like to have a contract as an athlete. And he's like, bro, it is not as how you think it is because you're not getting any money as how you should. You're barely getting paid, and if you're not running fast, you're not getting anything. And if on your contract it say that you're supposed to make a world game and then you go to the trials and get hurt, then your contract is going to get cut.
Yeah, I know they have a lot of performance-based caveats
so
attached.
He's saying that when he's doing normal work, he's making more money outside of doing track and field. So it's just a lot of things there, but I cannot taint my reputation to make more money. So I completely agree with Warren.
Yeah, and Daniel, based on what I'm hearing, this would damage your reputation, your credibility, everything pretty much, your character, huh? So it would be a no-no for you.
Yeah, it's a character issue as well, integrity, morals, and so that's something that will follow Fred Curley and athletes who choose to do that, and it's against the rules. The World Anti-Doping Agency and World Athletics, they have a prohibited association. So if you associate with organizations that promote the use or actively involved in drug use, banned substances, you can get banned for that. And Curley's already facing a suspension for about 2 years. His case hasn't been heard as yet, but he's thinking that he can compete clean and come back to track and field when he's ready. And I think he's in for a surprise.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think World Athletics has heard the cry from the athletes about the need for increased remuneration. And the president, Sebco, has said they're looking to raise the bar next year, for example, the Ultimate Challenge in Budapest, Hungary.